Yo, this is Rick Mahorn, the bad boy, giving a shout out to my man Drew, Detroit Drew. Make sure you tune in on his YouTube channel, Detroit Drew, bad boy.
Jay the producer.
Detroit Drew, Woodward Sports. Yeah, Detroit Drew, Woodward Sports. Yeah.
Yo, what's good, peeps, man? How's everyone doing on this Free Smoke Saturday, man? We got a great show for you, man. Make sure you guys come in and like the video and check out the description for all the links to the DSA crew and Woodward Sports. It's going to be a great show, man. We got a ton of stuff to talk about and less time to do it in. So let's introduce you guys to the panel tonight. First up, man, we got our own scouting expert. I know he's excited for this year, man. Bravo, man. What do you got for the peeps to start the show off?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Nice Saturday. We're going to talk about some of the draft today and some of the players that we're looking at in the lottery. So hopefully we'll have a decent player on our team next season.
I certainly hope we get a superstar, man, because we desperately need one, man. The weather's been nice. It's been warm out. And I know someone's talk, this playoff series, this playoff round one, heading into game two, man, it is also heating up as 313 JMO has been giving people the smoke on Twitter. If you guys are not following him on Twitter or subscribe to him, I suggest you do so, man. He's got some of the funniest content arguing with people on Twitter. JMO, man, thank you for joining the show, man. What do you got for the peeps to open up the show?
What's good, everybody? So, like I told Drew, man, I am a little busy right now, but I'm out. But I still wanted to do the video and talk some sports with y'all, man. Shout out to all the people in the chat. He right, I got all his feet smoked. Honestly, it's a lot of people on Twitter that's stupid as shit. But you know, I try to be nice sometimes, but they don't see my vision, man. But shout out to the people in the chat, man. We gonna have a good show out here.
Mr. Rays says Bucks in 7. We're already getting some Bucks love, man.
Hey, man, I said Bucks was winning the series before everything, man. People was trying to clown me. So I tell y'all, bro.
So we got a packed show, man. We got a lot of Pistons stuff to break down today. But I think we're gonna start the show while people are still coming in talking the NBA playoffs, as round one is pretty much all about over. The only matchup we're still waiting on is game 7 between the Clippers and the Mavericks. So let's start there. Let's start it off with round one. It's going back to LA for game number 7. So far, the home team has not won a single game. So with that being said, the Mavericks should win game number 7. But Bravo, this has been one of my favorite series. Who do you have in this game 7 matchup to end round one?
It's really tough matchup. So the way that the Clippers closed the game in game 6 makes me feel like the Clippers are going to make it. But I hope that the Dallas goes through, because I like Luka and I really like the Dallas Mavericks. Carlisle is one of my favorite coaches. So I'm rooting for Dallas, but I do feel like it's going to be the Clippers, because they managed to really stop that pick and roll for Luka in the last fourth quarter. So maybe if Carlisle finds an answer, it's going to be Dallas. It's really hard to predict who wins the series.
You know, the thing for Dallas all series long, for them winning games, Luka's been putting up numbers pretty much every single game. The games that they win, it's the other guys, the Tim Hardaways, the Brunsons, that have been hitting shots. Even Finney Smith, man, he's been hitting a lot of nice shots in the games that they have won. For the Mavs to win game 7, that's no different, man. Right now, the Clippers are feeling confident. They won game 6. They're heading back home to close it out after being down 3-2. You need those guys to hit shots, which it should be a tight game. Both teams should be fired up. You know, Luka's going to do what he does. Kawhi's going to get his. But it's about shutting down the rest of the teams. And whoever plays better defense this game, whoever can hit the most shots, which, you know, it sounds dumb, like this is kind of like a generalization, but it's so true, man. In playoff basketball, when you get an open look to hit it, it's so crucial. So if the Mavericks can hit their shots, was again my team outside Detroit, you know, if the not the Dennis Smith Jr.'s, yikes, I'm taking them back to the past. If the Tim Hardaway Jr.'s can hit their shots, if the Finney Smiths can continue to hit their shots, then that's who I'm rolling with. But it's always tough to win Game 7 on the road, no matter what the series has been like before. But I'm still pulling for my Mavericks, man. J-Mo, I know you're not a fan of the Clippers, and I know KP has also turned into Pandemic P. Who do you got to win Game 7 of the last game of the first round, the Mavs or the Clips?
I can't really sit here and be like, oh, this team win, this team gonna win. But I'll put it simply: if Kawhi scores 45 again, the Clippers will win. Basically, they only look. It's a lot of things you can talk about in the game, a lot of reasons why they won or lost. But I'm just gonna chalk it up to what's simple. At the end of the day, Kawhi dropped 45 damn points. Like honestly, like they don't win without. They needed all 45, and Luka had 29 and he didn't really have a good game. So you would need Kawhi to drop at least 40 again and Luka to not be dropping 40 in order for the Clippers to win. And they would need to stop that pick and roll again and show that it was an adjustment. Like Luka would have to have another tough game because Tim Hardaway did show up last game. Paul George was Paul George. But at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to Kawhi versus Luka. Whoever has the better game is going to win. At the end of the day, but if Luka get if he get like a 37, if he get anywhere over 36, 37, and the thing with Luka beating the Clippers is when he's making his threes and stretching the floor, it's a nightmare. And he didn't make any threes last game. He made a couple threes. But if Luka come in and rain in three, they done. So Kawhi is starting to take the challenge defensively. I was talking about it earlier. Why don't y'all take the challenge defensively? Because Luka is out there cooking y'all. Like, take the challenge. So he started to take the challenge. But at the end of the day, it's about Kawhi. He's going to have to step up because you can't depend on none of the Clippers but Kawhi. So at the end of the day, they're going to go with him. Now, if Paul George shows up and drops 30, they'll win also. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I seen an interesting statistic.
I just feel like the Mavericks going to end up winning.
I seen a statistic.
The last game. They had control of it. It's like they just let it slip away. They had control of the whole game, and they were leading damn near the whole game.
Right.
And Luka wasn't even having a good game like that. So imagine if they're like he's on. It's going to be real bad for them. That's why Kawhi's going to have to drop 40 again for sure.
Right. I seen a statistic today that when Luke Kennard plays, or was it hit a field goal? I think it was hit a 3, that the Clippers are 2-0. When Reggie Jackson starts, they are 3-1. Like, I don't understand how Reggie Jackson starting gets into that 3-1, but
no, Reggie, look, say whatever you want about Reggie Jackson, call him trash. I can hate him all I want, but let me tell you something. He been balling his ass off in this series. Bro.
You're right, man. Last night especially.
Ray say, I don't care. Look, you can hate Reggie, cool. You can't take it away. He been playing. He been playing some ball in this series, man. So
it's gotta be the goggles.
He's been playing well. He playing like a starting point guard. Well, starting shooting guard because he ain't playing point. Starting shooting guard, Reggie Jackson. I keep telling y'all.
Yeah, I think a lot of the credit goes to Kawhi, though, man. Kawhi has just been so on fire.
Kawhi and Paul George, all that space, all the space to create.
Yeah. PG put them cornrows in, man, and he's been playing like it, man. They've been stepping up, man. It may have took them. I think the problem with the Clippers is they didn't take the Mavericks serious until it was a little too late. Because you can see in the last 2 games, the Clippers have been more just trying hard, fighting for loose balls, diving for them, any means necessary to try to get these dubs. Because when your back's against the wall and you realize you're facing elimination, you have to step up. And I just feel like on paper, they should have beat the Mavs in 5-6 games with all the talent that they have. The Mavericks aren't as talented as the Clippers. They're not that deep, man. Seriously, man, the Clippers can play 12, 13 guys a night, and all those guys can deliver any given time. Luke Kennard, he can go off any minute. Reggie can go off any minute. It's not even that. Like, Morris can go off any minute. Like, I know those are all former Pistons players, but they
got our Pistons players playing their role.
They can take over a game anytime, though. That's what's different. But I don't know, man. So it's like the Clippers don't take anyone serious unless it's the Lakers. That's why even if the Clippers win this series, now that the Lakers are gone, I just don't feel like they're going to take anyone else serious. Like, hey, we got the Lakers out of the way, which we're going to talk about the Lakers here next.
Who would they face? Utah?
I think they have to play the Utah game. Whoever wins the series has to play Utah, which
Yeah,
Utah's
a bad
tough.
matchup for Dallas. I don't think the Clippers would beat them either. Honestly, I think Utah about to go to the Western Conference Finals regardless. Even though I'm not gonna sleep on Luka, but he got to get past me.
Right.
Like, because Utah, they basically got everything.
Let's piss off all the LeBron fans now, as this is gonna be my favorite part of the show, man. As the Lakers get bounced out of the first round by the Phoenix Suns. Now, again, I know all the LeBron lovers are gonna say, man, he's still the GOAT. That, if AD was there, well, guess what? AD wasn't there. The Lakers got rid of a bunch of people. They let go of JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Dennis Schroeder, Danny Green. All four of those guys are still in the playoffs. Of course, Danny Green and Dwight Howard are on Philly. They haven't played round 2 yet. But the point being is LeBron likes to get his guys in there. And he did that last year, where he got Dwight, he got JaVale, he wanted all those guys there, and they won the championship in the bubble. And again, a lot of this is going to go into playing in the bubble, where they only had, a month and a half off, maybe 2 months, to come back and get ready for this year. I get it. It's a lot. But you lost to Phoenix. Who on that team is the LeBron? James Crowder? That's who we're going to compare him to? Like, James Crowder is the one? No. It was CP3 and D-Book, bro. And man, he played a great series. He played great. He played fantastic. So I've been waiting for playoff D-Book, and he delivered round number 1. And his first playoff series, he sent your GOAT to Cancun. Put some respect on D-Book. If you weren't a D-Book fan, which I don't know how anyone in this chat can't be, being from Detroit, being from Michigan, put some respect on Book, bro. The Bread, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you.
I like the hat, bro.
Thank you. Got plenty
Yes,
of
sir.
try to keep them in rotation. You know how that
I feel you, man. I got a whole wall of hats. I don't even wear half of them on the show because I can't take them down, bro.
I feel you.
People collect shoes. People collect jerseys. I collect hats.
Exactly.
J-Mo, man, what do you think about King James getting ready to go watch Space Jam 2 in theaters on vacay?
Man, look, I'm not a LeBron fan, but y'all LeBron haters, y'all enjoying this too much. Hey, at the end of the day, LeBron not the best player in the world. I've been telling y'all about Devin Booker for 3 years. I'm the biggest Devin Booker fan I know. I'm in love with this guy when it comes to playing basketball because he reminds me of a young Kobe Bryant, man. He just did from day one. That boy, that toughness that he played with, he finally got a chance. To show what he's about. But at the end of the day, man, even if LeBron was playing his best, it still would have been hard for him to beat Phoenix without AD. And not even without AD. It's without AD and your role players playing like ass. End of the day, they got outcoached and they got beat. A lot of Phoenix showed up, man. Campaign was balling. Aiden had a good couple games in the first few games. CP3 was just out there hurt, but still trying to play. But at the end of the day, man, Devin Booker and them boys got them boys up out of there, bro.
I'll say something to that.
Yeah, go for it. I knew you were about to jump in, man. Feel free.
Last Free Smoke Saturday, J-Mo posed a question. Anybody think the Suns can win this series with a healthy Chris Paul? And I'm like, yeah, Suns in 6. And I'm getting laughed at. But now you sitting over here praising the graces of Devin Booker and Kane and all these other.
What did Chris Paul do last game?
You say what?
Chris Paul didn't do nothing in this series.
That ain't the point. The point is you didn't think the Suns had any chance.
I didn't think AD was out.
Man, it don't matter. You should know that AD is gonna get hurt at some point, just like Chris Paul gonna get hurt. That all goes into the equation.
No, that doesn't. That I can't predict those things that hadn't happened.
You don't have to predict
Last
it
week, AD
every
was
year.
completely healthy, and the Lakers were up in the series. I think.
All right, so now you taking credit for Devin Booker and all these other Suns after you were saying.
I didn't take credit for nobody but Devin Booker because I've been championing Devin Booker for years.
All right, man. I just like I said, I brought it up last week, and it was it didn't make any sense. So I just find it funny now that all of a sudden it's all clear.
I'm telling you, if they had an healthy AD, they not beating the Lakers.
It would have been a different series, but if Chris Paul was healthy, it still wouldn't have been no series.
It's still that would have won 7 games, bro.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
Like, I don't know. Like that,
I'm not saying it wouldn't have, but the Suns still would have won that
that
series. Is my point.
I don't know, man. When AD and Brian on, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you didn't know last week, and that's what happened. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to know.
AD wasn't there.
It don't matter. It
AD
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
there. It does matter, man.
You know,
Man's a superstar.
It's just like
you don't got a superstar on your squad. You're not gonna do that by yourself. That's how the NBA is.
I mean, I'm just saying though, it was unheard of last week. Just like the Jason Tatum thing was unheard of last week. Now Boston getting blown up. Like this is like, man, it's just a lot going on, man. Like you just don't see sometimes at the beginning, man. You gotta give us a break sometimes, man.
Man, it ain't about don't see him, bro. Like if you told me AD was gonna get hurt in the series, then you'll have something. But other than that, I'm not about to overrate them losing when they ain't have all they guys.
J-Mo, when has AD not gotten hurt in the series?
Bro, I don't know AD's injury history, but he was there for every series they won, wasn't he? In the first round, he got hurt. Second round against Denver, he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was there, but he gets nicked up a lot, man. Everybody
against Houston, he was there.
Yeah, but
who they play in the first round?
Being hurt and being injured are two different things. He stays hurt. Now this series,
but he couldn't play though. But that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
he was hurt. Like he was hurting to play but he still was hitting shots and yelling Kobe and try to play against Jokic.
You're right.
Right, but not being able to play. Y'all saw him out there, but that boy.
No, you're right. However, but my point wasn't even AD though. When I was talking about the Lakers, it was that LeBron doesn't look the same to me. This is what I was saying last week. LeBron didn't look the same. You didn't see that same aggression. Didn't see none of the explosion. You just didn't see that hunger. And you were saying, well, he's trying to get his teammates ready and this and that. But I'm like, man, they ain't gonna win with LeBron playing like that, especially with AD being hurt. There's no chance. But LeBron is the real factor in this whole equation. 36-year-old LeBron.
No, that's why AD is more of a factor because LeBron can't do all those things every single game in the series. That's why you need AD to help you out. That's the whole point. The man, 36 years old.
Right, but AD's not there. LeBron can't no longer put the thing on his shoulders.
Games in those closeout games, they just lost.
Ben, I'm about to help you out here in this argument right here. I'm going to turn this argument you don't like into something that you probably will. AD's out. Lakers know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes in the game when he went out, he's not coming back. Where the hell was Andre Drummond? Why didn't Andre Drummond step up? Man, I defended Andre his entire 8 years here. Andre was my boy. He goes to Cleveland. He plays, okay, it's Cleveland. I'm not watching a lot of their games. It's Cleveland. Cleveland's a dumpster fire. If I lived in Cleveland, I probably wouldn't be here right now because I would hate my life because I'm in Cleveland. Cleveland is disgusting. Seriously, I'm not. Hey, if you're from Cleveland and you're watching it, nothing against you. Cleveland's just an ugly city, okay? True story. I went there. I think I was going to Wisconsin or something. I stopped in Cleveland, downtown Cleveland. Their arena was right there. I stopped at an aquarium. In the aquarium, they literally had trash from the river in the museum because it was iconic. That's the best thing Cleveland has to offer. Okay? So Andre doesn't take it serious. Cool, whatever. He goes to LA. He wasn't traded to LA. He signed in LA. That's a difference. He wanted to go there. He did not play well in LA at all this year. Playoff game. Andre here had one of the worst plus minuses of all time. I think it was the worst in NBA history, if I'm not mistaken. Where the hell was he at this series? He just disappeared. He shaved his shoulder hair and sat on the bench and was enjoying LeBron takeover game 3. He just disappeared. And Benjamin Spo was right, man. We paid him $100 million, okay? If he's getting that kind of money, if he's making 2 All-Star games, you have to step up here. and he didn't. So when we look back at this trade, when we got Brandon Knight, John Henson, and a future second-round draft pick, you're like, that's a BS trade. Andre's not a modern-day big man anymore. And he was nice to have. I liked Andre. He was the best we had to offer. But in the modern NBA on the big stage, he can't cut it. And there's no more defending him. I can't. As a basketball fan, as a guy who talks basketball almost every single day, I can't defend this man anymore. I can't. When you're on the Pistons, you're playing Milwaukee, you have the worst plus minus of all time. Okay, I'm going to let you slide. The Pistons were young. We weren't really that good. We barely made the playoffs. We snuck in. But to go to LA with LeBron, AD, you knew what everyone was saying you were going to do is go back to the finals and win another chip. And he can't get it done. And that's the biggest problem. I don't care if AD was hurt or not. Andre has made all-star teams. He needed to step up, and he didn't.
I mean, I'm being honest. He looked pretty washed out there. But like I said, all the Lakers look washed. Kuzma, I love keep saying it. He been trash ever since O left. That's holding up. Schroeder had 0 points in the game. I'm like, bro, like at least show up a little bit. Like these them boys was like, bro, we want to go home. We like they were like Cancun on 3. And LeBron was like, you know what, man, Cancun on 3. Let's go. Like, did any of the Lakers show up in the last game besides LeBron? KCP had a good game, I think. That was it. Like Schroeder had like 13 or 14. Like, bro. Yeah, they lost. Ain't no excuse for that. But them role players, they was garbage. LeBron, he underperformed. That's true for sure. Still, man. Drummond, I didn't think Drummond would be that bad. I'm like, bro, every boy acting like he don't know how to play basketball. He don't know how to finish. He don't know how to play defense. I'm like, what's going on, man? Shooter out there looking so terrible, bro.
Yeah, he's out of there, man. I think the Lakers are going to just do a complete trade show, man. Like this offseason is going to be crazy for the Lakers. I can't wait for the Damian Lillard reports of him be like, hey, I want to go to LA. When he's like, I never said that, and the Lakers are trying to get him.
Oh yeah.
Which we'll talk about Dame here later in the show. But
hey, you remember what I said on Twitter about? I said I trade. People was mad as hell when I said it. I was like, I trade Dame for AD in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, we just got different philosophies, man. They had Dame Lillard, they'll win the chip this year. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like
AD get hurt too much for me, bro. He's all time. He's great, but he just get hurt too fucking much.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's the top 5 player in the league.
Oh my god! With an old LeBron James, it's over. It's over.
It would be a better version of Kyrie and LeBron.
Right. Because they'd be way more older and mature. Man, it's over. But, some people, keep AD his defense. Hey, man, you got to play defense.
Bravo, man. What's your takeaway from the Lakers being sent home in the first round to the Phoenix Suns?
I'm not really hater for the Lakers. Actually, I'm a fan of the Lakers last year's win. And this year, I feel like they didn't really have it because LeBron is not 100%. AD is injured. And I don't like their really shooting capacity. They seem like very thin in shooting. You can't just give the ball to Dennis Schroeder to shoot threes. That's not how it goes. Dennis Schroeder was chucking a lot of threes for no reason. Like, he's the only guy who's like, okay, AD passes it to Schroeder. It's only Schroeder. They leave him wide open, and he's going to miss. This is what has been going on. So, and KCP is like also got like not 100%. He's also hurt. So, AD is also, I think it's an injury. He's going to be out. Like sounds like an adductor muscle injury, groin injury, like a adductor muscle that could be out for like 8 weeks at least. So he's playing, I think, but he's playing over injury. I don't think he's just hurt. Be honest, the bread. I think he is injured, literally injured, and that really hurts. Just like Stanley Johnson injury before when we had him on our team. Oh, actually, no, that was a hamstring. I'll take it back. So the groin injury really sucks because that's the adductor muscle, and it really limits the player from moving. I don't think the Lakers were 100%, and I don't think we can blame Andre Drummond alone. I don't like Andre Drummond because he asked a lot of money, but I kind of feel like I'm going to stay with him positive in here because he really outplayed DeAndre Ayton good. It's not bad. He didn't really completely kill them. No, he took the rebounds from DeAndre Ayton. He defended the ball well against Ayton, but the problem is their coach, the coach of the Lakers, he started going a lot to Mark Gasol, and when you do that against Ayton, win the game basically. So it's not working. He was trying to get more shooting of Gasol over the shooting of Drummond. Drummond, we know he can't shoot. He can't really defend. That's a problem for him. So that's why I don't like him, because it doesn't sound like he's a good fit on the starting five. He probably better off the back of the bench as a backup center. So that's how I feel like. I think the whole Lakers were not really 100%. But the other thing is, you got to give Phoenix a lot of credits. I'm going to stay positive. Phoenix played the hell out of a game. Like, I have never seen the huge development in a team like this Phoenix in a while. I mean, last year, remember that when you were in the bubble, they went on a 5-game winning streak, and this is what they translate in the NBA. I feel like they really played really well. You're going to give a lot of credits to Devin Booker. I don't think CP3 is 100% either, but it's all Devin Booker and this guy, Cameron Payne. He killed it. Man, Cameron Payne killed the Lakers. Let's be honest with you. Who is this kid? Cameron Payne was trash on the OKC on Chicago Bulls. I remember him very well. I don't know how he became this good out of nowhere. So you got to give a lot of credits to Cameron Payne too. I think these players, they showed up, and I think Devin Booker really brought his potentials to Phoenix. So they deserved it.
I would not say Andre outplayed Ayton. Andre had a couple of okay games. Yeah, he had a
exactly.
double.
That's what I'm trying to say. He was not completely killed. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying he's completely killed by Ayton. No.
Drummond. No. The last 2 games of the series, he didn't have a good game. The last 2 games, but the first 4 games, Ayton was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think Drummond is grabbed rebound. What is his function? The function of Andre Drummond is grabbing rebound.
Drummond was getting to the board, but he got to do more. But they needed him to score. And it's more than just scoring points. It's being a threat to score, so it opens up space for other players, bro. They already know Drummond ain't gonna do shit. And I'll blame Frank Vogel. You're a terrible coach. How do you not play Montrezl Harrell but the first game, and he was cooking them in the first game, and then you don't play Montrezl Harrell the rest of the series to the last game? But instead, you want to run Drummond and Gasol out there when you need scoring.
Yeah.
You need somebody on that bench to step up. And Montrezl, the only one with heart, man, he would have helped them out. But you can't throw him in the last game and expect something from him like that. Like that's some rotational issue. Once you saw that Drummond didn't have it like that, and Bart didn't have it like that, should have ran with Harold just to get some points on the board, man.
But let's face it, Drummond is not like trash Drummond on the Cavs. He was better, I think. I think he played D.
Drummond was good on the Cavs.
Well, it's not too bad, I think, in my opinion. People are trashing Drummond.
He was basically Piston Drummond, but he was on the Cavs.
Yeah, he's not the Piston Drummond because he wasn't grabbing that much of rebounds, 16 rebound a game. But I think he played okay. He's not too bad. I mean, Ayton obviously the better player for sure right now, but I don't think he can blame single-handedly Andre Drummond in this case because he's just okay. I think he was. The problem is just the rotation. You can't just keep Drummond and Shooter. They both can't shoot. LeBron is the only guy who shoots, and KCP is not hitting threes. So nobody on their team was able to hit threes. When Phoenix hit and all of them hit threes, you can't just work it out against them. So you need the better three-point shooting. I think that's the kind of game they lost it in here, the Lakers. They got the defense, but they didn't have the three-point potential, I feel like.
I'm not single-handedly blaming Andre.
Okay.
I'm not, because it's a team game. But, a lot of these games have been on TNT. And hearing Shaq talk about big men, Shaq is my favorite player of all time. When he talks about the 5 position, you need to listen. He might be a goofball. You might see him on commercials doing Icy Hot and the General Insurance commercials and the weird Papa John's commercials. Take that out of effect. When he talks about the center position, you got to listen, okay? And he says when a man is out with injury, when him and Kobe were playing, if him and Kobe were hurt, Phil Jackson used to say, next man up. AD is not 100%. Even if you knew he was going to attempt game number 6, he's not going to be 100%. That's a game Andre needs a 2020 game at minimum. He needed to step up because he's more than capable of doing it. He was the Pistons' best player for 8 years. He carried a franchise. Well, I wouldn't say carried a franchise because we only made the playoffs twice and got swept both times. But he was the face of our franchise. You can say what you want about LeBron's teammates like Kevin Love. He should be capable of carrying a team. He used to do it in Minnesota. Again, they were terrible. But he was a number one scoring option where he could drop 30 points. He had a 30-30 game. All these guys we make excuses for being bums. They're not bums. They need to step up. What you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on the Andre Drummond thing, and that's what I was gonna say once y'all got to me. But I can't hold last game against Andre Drummond. He didn't even play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Frank Vogel. And J-Mo stole the point of mine as well. Like, not only did you not play Andre Drummond, but you didn't play Montrezl Harrell either. Don't understand that. You know why you got Gasol running the center, pretty much the whole game when y'all going small ball. That really didn't make much sense. Like when you say you got a guy like Drummond on the floor. But to everybody's point, honestly, I haven't seen the same Drummond since Detroit. Like that Drummond in Cleveland, to me, was not the same Drummond. He had a couple big games here and there, but consistency-wise, Drummond wasn't doing the same things. Then you look at him in LA, man, this guy looks overweight, man. He's not moving like he was. This guy used to be able to get out and guard pick and rolls with ease. He used to pick point guard's pockets or whoever the pick and roll ball handler was. He's not even close to doing that right now. That guy, they call him the big penguin. He looks like a penguin out there right now. And that's the problem. That's probably why he didn't get in the game. You know, but no, this Drummond that we're seeing right here, man, this guy, he deserves less money than Mason Bumley. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. And that's why he didn't get in the game. But I have no idea why Montrezl Harrell didn't get in the game. That baffles me to this,
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah, I agree there. Frank Vogel is not the greatest coach of all time, okay?
He's not bad. I don't think he's bad, but he's not trash. People are calling him. He's not a trash coach. Come on.
He is Dwayne Casey.
He's not trash, but he damn near need to be fired for not putting Montrezl Harrell in the series. Basically.
I would honestly say he's on Casey's level.
He's like a top 4 scorer on that team. Like that's just stupid, bro.
Yeah.
Especially when your guards aren't playing well.
Like, they could have still very well lost. I'm not saying they would have won. I'm just saying you got to be smart to best players on the court.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, boy. Because the first game, Harrell was scoring like a mug, unstoppable. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. I know they lost the first game, but I'm just like, okay, you got to keep that going.
The thing with Vogel is in Indiana, they brought in David West, who was an all-star player, okay? He was a little bit older, but he was a former all-star. I think he made the all-star game like once or twice in Indy. I think. I don't know. I have to go back in time and look. But then they got this is a name that people have forgotten about. Roy Hubert.
Roy Hubert.
He was a defensive player of the year. Okay, no one knows who he is anymore because he just disappeared.
I know who Roy Hubert was.
I know, but we got a lot of young people watching who probably weren't around quite yet. Okay, we got a lot of young people watching. This is a history lesson. This is ancient basketball for them. And then they got PG, who at time PG was dominating that Miami series, man. He became a superstar and a household name because of that Miami series. Frank had a pretty good team there. And then, once PG wanted out and he wasn't playing well and he got hurt, he broke his leg, they fired him. And he went to Orlando, where they played okay. They were a borderline playoff team, maybe made it once. They were okay. All of a sudden, he gets promoted to head coach of the Lakers with LeBron. That's not his team. He's not coaching. That's LeBron's team. I'm not a big Frank fan. I don't think he does anything well. He's okay. He's an average coach.
No, he's a very good defensive coach.
Yeah, okay. I would say that's a strong suit. I would say he can get a team to play defense because Orlando did play some pretty good defense. And again, I would say between the Pacers and Chicago, those were probably the best two defensive teams back when they were good. But like you said, not playing the Harrell, I don't get that, especially when Schroeder was playing terrible. If your guards aren't producing, let LeBron play point guard. He can facilitate. He can initiate the pick and roll. I've seen him do it a bazillion times. Let him be the point guard if Schroeder can't do shot. Like, come on. Like, you have to think. And I just feel like these coaches, they don't care anymore. Like, they're too afraid to say, hey, this lineup's not working, LeBron. Let's switch it up. You're going to run point. I don't know what's behind everything here. Again, I'm not in that locker room. I'm not sure who they're blaming besides the the role players that weren't hitting their shots. But
Hey, can I ask y'all a question that's unrelated because I'm trying to see something? And the bread, maybe you can educate me a little bit. But how many championship coaches that's winning multiple rings are like, I won't say soft, but like mild mannered and not like aggressive, getting your ass type coaches? Even Greg Pop, Phil Jackson, Larry Browns of the world, all of those coaches are like that. You know, you can get a Frank Vogel and win a chip here and there. You can get an Eric Spoelstra, win a chip here and there. But usually these top tier guys, you know what I'm saying? When you get these super teams, you know, Steve Nash, Steve Kerr, they don't have to do much. You know what I'm saying? But usually, if you want to get your best out of the superstars, you got to, you know, be tough with them. You know, and that's what Ty Lue did when Cleveland won. You know, told LeBron, "Shut your ass now, shut up. I'm coaching right now." You need that type of thing. And Frank Vogel, he probably not really being that dominant type of voice that they probably needed in some of these situations, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I see the same thing. Yeah, Frank Vogel, he's the guy that's going to lean on his stars to win them, you know, championships and things like that. You know, them homegrown teams, they usually take those type of coaches that you're talking about. You know, like Utah, they're going to have to win with a coach like that. You know, when we win, that's how we win with coaches like that. You know, those teams that aren't trying to buy championships, like, yeah, you can't get a guy that's going to come in here and be mellow and think you're going to win. That don't usually happen like that. So, yeah, to your point, yeah, I agree with that for sure.
yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, man. I mean, Pop is probably the greatest coach of all time. And when needed, he doesn't do it every night, but he does get pretty vocal with them guys. And he didn't have to do it a whole lot with Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan already knew the assignment. But it's not about getting into Tim Duncan's face. I don't think I've ever seen Pop yell at Tim Duncan. But I've seen him yell at Tony Parker and Ginobili of like, hey, especially when they were younger, of like, hey, you can't do that. That's not a good shot. That's a bad turnover. What the hell are you doing? You got to get smarter with your decisions out there. I've seen it several times from him. A lot of times your star players already know the assignment. It's about the other guys, the role players that need to step up, and that's what you need to coach. LeBron's probably one of the smartest basketball players of all time. And no one can deny that. Even if you don't like LeBron, I don't like LeBron. He is probably one of the smartest guys I've ever seen play the game. He knows the rules, knows how to draw fouls, he knows where his teammates are supposed to be, but you have to motivate the Schroeders, the Harrells, the Drummonds, the Caruso's. You got to get those guys going, man. And none of those guys the series did, but that's why they're in Cancun right now, man.
But see, you know why they won the championship last year though, is because you didn't have those guys, but you had a better group of veterans.
Like Rondo.
You know,
he's like a coach on the floor.
You know what I'm saying? Not to be told this is your moment type thing. You know, you had JaVale McGee's, and say whatever you want about Dwight Howard, but he knew his assignment, bro. He's a 12, 14-year vet, however long you've been in the league. You know, and then you had, you know, KCP obviously played much better.
Yeah.
But like you had veterans to help you out. And you know, they just, I don't know. AD was obviously hurt, but they didn't build these role players up right. You had Rondo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What y'all think? What y'all think happened to KCP this year? Because I mean, we seen him in the
don't have a clue
what it can look like. But like this playoffs was ridiculous. He was getting past the ball wide open and still wasn't shooting, still passing the ball back. You know, for a veteran like him, a 3-and-D guy, when you getting wide open threes, you still not shooting. Like I just don't understand. Like what happened?
Yeah, definitely wanted him the same shots he been getting since he been playing with LeBron. Yeah, but he wasn't shooting and he wasn't hitting them when he shot the ball.
Yeah, he wasn't hitting them when he shot them either. I know his confidence might have been low, but you're here to shoot. Like I don't care if your confidence is low. You still
you saw the edit with LeBron, like you shoot the damn ball. Like
it's ridiculous. Like I don't understand that because like I can't remember Bravo or Drew was saying they don't have anything else. They don't have any other the shooters. LeBron was their shooter. Schroeder wasn't hitting nothing. No, none of the other players. Kuzma wasn't hitting nothing. KCP, you that next man up. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to shoot the ball, but if you ain't gonna make it, you still got to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Like just for spacing purposes of the play, you mess up the spacing if you don't shoot the ball when you're wide open. I just didn't understand it. Like, and I don't know why they've been letting him
Yeah,
slide.
look, I'm gonna bring coaching up one more time. Obviously LeBron, you got to coach him better too. But he told him to shoot the ball. Like, where's the coaching is to tell him, like, bro, you got to shoot the ball if we gonna lose the series, bro? Like,
Yep. If you're gonna go down shooting, man. I don't know if it's like the pressure of playing with LeBron or the pressure of being in LA, but he didn't look like this last year when they won the championship. Like, he had games where he didn't hit shots, but he was shooting them. And that's all you can do, man.
hey, no fans,
Shooters
no pressure.
gotta shoot, bro. That's day one stuff. Like, seriously. But we've already been talking about the playoffs for 40 minutes, man. Do you guys want to talk about any other series before we move on to Pistons stuff before people get bored?
No, it's all good. Well, can we get a score check for the Bucks Nets?
It's at halftime right now. I know I can pull it up on my phone real quick. It'll probably be faster.
63-61. The Nets are ahead.
There we go.
Okay, that's gonna be a high scoring game.
But James Harden is out of the game already with a hamstring.
He
James
is
Harden's
out for the
out.
rest of the game, but it doesn't matter. They got Kyrie and KD. They should win, but I got Milwaukee in the series still.
Me
I
and
don't know.
Drew on the island with that, bro.
Brooklyn doesn't play defense. Milwaukee's a great defensive team. I don't think Brooklyn can slow down Giannis. He's just having his way down low in the paint right now. I just don't. It's going to be a tight series. It's going 6 or 7. It's not going to be like Milwaukee's going to blow them out every game. You can see right now it's neck and neck right now at halftime. It's going to be a high scoring series, but over the long haul, you have to play defense in the playoffs to win a championship. And right now, I think Milwaukee's just better fit to beat this team, even though they don't have the star power like Brooklyn does. I think they got a better matchup for them, man. Like Drew Holiday's been playing great this season. I think when Harden gets back, he'll be switching between Kyrie and Harden. And I think he'll be able to hold his own, man. If he can hit his shots and balance it out a little bit, Milwaukee should be sitting pretty. But let's get into some Pistons talk, man. We seen Portland get bounced in the first round as well. And today already, I've seen a report. I think it was from Bleacher Report. So, again, if it's Bleacher Report, take it with a grain of salt because they are terrible. That teams have already been calling on Damian Lillard to see his availability. If that is true, which I'm sure teams have been doing, and I'm sure it's going to be on Damian Lillard's part to see if he wants out of there. Again, we don't know what today's NBA. I think Dame's a pretty loyal guy, but it was kind of a disappointment season, especially when he dropped 50 pretty much in 2 OTs and they lost that game after he hit clutch shot after clutch shot. I'd be frustrated. Who wouldn't be? But my question to you guys, if Damian Lillard is available, should the Pistons pick up the phone with two-phone Troy? And if so, what would be your trade package for Damian Lillard? Bravo, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Let's go for the bread. I'm just doing something just to search about the salaries for those two guys before we. So go ahead, the bread, please.
All right.
What do you think about Lillard?
Yeah, me personally, Damian Lillard, he's long in the tooth now, man. I wouldn't trade for him. Not now, man. He's about to be 30 years old, or he's already 30. Yeah, I'm not giving up anything significant for him. I'm not giving him multiple first round picks because I don't think he's the answer to put us over the top right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm Lillard, I'm trying to go somewhere like a LA or somewhere that maybe somewhere like Miami or something like that. Like that's where I'd be trying to go if I'm him. I'm not coming to the Pistons, and he's not the missing piece for us. And I wouldn't be willing to give up what it would take to get him, quite honestly. Now, if it was like we was getting him for a bag of basketballs or something like that, then yeah, I'd take him on the same, of course. Why not? But no, I'm not trying to give up anything significant for Lillard. Lillard's a great player and everything, but I just think at 30 years old, by the time this team really is trying to come around, we don't need him. I mean, he's not going to be effective for what we need him to do for that salary.
I understand that, and I don't want to rush the rebuild. We just started to do things right, and I get your point of not wanting to pay these superstar players anymore. We did it with Blake, didn't work out. We paid Charlie V, Ben Gordon, that superstar money. Of course, they weren't 30 yet, but didn't pan out. Josh Smith, Drummond, yeah, you're right. We paid a bunch of these guys this money. Damian Lillard, I think, is the exception. He's never really had a serious injury, and even though he is an athletic guard, he doesn't rely on his athleticism to put up buckets. He's a great shooter. He's one of those guys, once he crosses half court, you have to guard him instantly. He's got Dame range. It's not Curry range. He's got his own range. It's Dame time. And I think this is one of the people, if he is available, we need to see what's out there. Dame is just, well, I don't know how to say. He's Dame time, bro. Like, he probably has some of the most clutchest shots in recent NBA history. He's probably one of the clutchest players in the NBA right now. And with the Pistons, if you got him, so say you had to trade Killian away, which starting point guard, and you had to trade our first round draft pick. It's something the Pistons seriously need to consider. Even though I want Cade, even though I want Green or Mobley, I love those guys. This is something seriously the Pistons need to take their time with if it is real to discuss. I'm open for it. If we did it, I would not be opposed. If we passed, I would not be opposed. I'm pretty neutral on it. Damian is probably one of my favorite players in the league, especially at the guard position. I think he's better than Kyrie, personally. I know that's been some debate on Twitter and stuff like that of who's better in their prime. It's Damian Lillard. If he came here, Detroit's instantly a top 4, top 5 team in the East. Is that good enough? No. They need to be number 1 at the end of the day. They need to be winning championships at the end of the day. But Dame is a guy people want to play with. If you get Dame here, this could be a domino effect where year 1, him and Sadiq go off. Year number 2, say Bradley Beal's available. We can get a Dame and Bradley Beal backcourt. Again, this is dreaming of what-if scenarios. But it all starts with one phone call of what could happen. It's what the NBA is right now. I don't think these rumors are true. I just don't see Dame going anywhere else, man. He's already said he wants to stay here and retire in Portland. I just don't see him coming anywhere else. But if he is available, Pistons need to be the first one on that phone being like, what do you want? We give you some Fago and some better made chips. What do you want? And then take it from there. They don't know what that is out in Portland yet. So
I agree with that to a certain extent. But I just, like I say, the age thing is what gets me about Dame. Like, I love Dame as a player. Yeah, he's great. I mean, yeah, he's a great player. But being at 30 already, he's already at 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, I'm not trying to build a team with a 30-year-old. You talking about, like, he'd be number 4 or 5 in the East. Man, this guy, who's going to be his number 2? Jeremy Grant? Jeremy Grant's not a number 2 for real. You know what I'm saying?
But compare him next to Westbrook and Curry. Curry is what, 33?
I was about to
Westbrook's
say,
about
30 is
30.
not young for a superstar point guard. Like, you don't start getting, I mean, not old. You don't start getting old till you like 34, 35. Like, he's still 30. Like,
I'm saying you got a 3-year window. That's my point. You got a 3-year window with that.
Like,
guy.
Dame Lillard got like, I was say he got like 4 years left at least as a superstar at least. And I mean, I'm not necessarily gonna give up everything for him, but I'm definitely gonna pick up the phone and ask, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to give up. I'm not giving up Killian and other pieces first.
No, I'll give up Killian if he's gonna give me Dame Lillard, bro.
Facts.
I mean, he's better, obviously. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that he's not. It's just the age thing, man. That bothers me. You literally feeding up this rebuild, and you're saying we gotta win in the next 3-4 years.
30 is not that old. Some of the best players in the league is like all in their 30s.
Once again, if you play for Damian Lillard, then you're saying that we have to win it in the next 3 or 4 years.
Hey, man, it's possible. We better than Portland. That's all I know.
Oh, dude.
Anything possible.
Once we make these trades, oh yeah, as a franchise. I mean,
like we will get Damian Lillard to chip the old-fashioned Isaiah Thomas way if we have to. Don't play with the Pistons, man.
I hear you, man. I've been a Pistons fan longer than you, so I understand that. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
that's what I'm saying, man. I feel like when we got
into a 3 or 4 year window,
we always a threat whenever we got somebody. Like, we always a serious threat. So we don't need him. We don't need him, but if he available, come on, man.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't take him for a bag of balls. I'm just saying I want to give up a bunch of stuff for him, not for a 30-year-old.
You got to give up some good stuff for Dame. Like, Jeremy Grant can go. Bye. Killian, love you. Bye.
Y'all can do that. Y'all can do that. I'm not doing that. That's
no, I definitely would do that, bro.
Well, Jeremy Grant's almost 30. He's like 28.
26. He's 26.
He's 26. He's
27. Yeah, he turned 27 this year.
Dude, he's been in the league for like 15 years, I feel like.
Hey, he came in young, man. He came in young.
No, he's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
Dang, God. I didn't realize he was that young. Is he really?
I got
Is he really only 26?
He just
Aw.
turned 27 this season. So I can check that.
Yeah, he's only 27. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize he was that young still.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, Jeremy Grant's not Damian Lillard. Killian's not going to be Damian Lillard. Even if Killian develops the way I think he will, Killian will
I won't
never,
say he-
ever beat Damian.
I don't know about that, bro.
Dude, no, he
I'm gonna say, chill out.
he'll never be Damian Lillard.
Lillard
I don't know about
did shooting
that,
from
bro.
day one.
All
Lillard
I'm gonna
came in
say
shooting from day one.
when Damian Lillard was 19, he was still playing in college. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
They're two different guards, though. Killian's a facilitator. He's a pass-first guy. He's more like a Jason Kidd. Which if you can turn into a Jason Kidd, that's cool.
What kind of player was he? Let's go look at that.
He
That's
came
the type
into
of-
Portland
that's
with
the type of-
LaMarcus Aldridge and became
Was Damian
the
Lillard at
face
19
of the
better player than
franchise.
Killian? I don't know. I had to go check some stats. So I'm not gonna say he could never beat a guy.
What did
I don't
Damian
know.
Lillard
You
do his
looking at
rookie
what
year,
Damian-
though?
You looking at the finished product right now.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard had
Lillard was a 3-year
college.
starter in college. He went to Weber State. You know,
Yeah, bro.
he
So,
came in.
I mean,
He was kind of grown man already. He came in.
right.
Killing.
He came in a
somebody
man,
killing.
bro, and he came in killing.
Killing, lighting it on
'Cause
fire.
he was a 4-year vet.
Mm. Yeah, he did 4 years at Weber State. Yeah, 4 years. Okay.
Four. I know he's supposed to leave 3. I thought he was there 4 years because he's like
Yeah,
one
I
of
think so. I
the
think you're right.
4-year players, like him and like Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just
They
saying,
was trying to knock him
won't
on
say
that. That's
never,
why he
bro.
failed, because he came in at 23. That's why he failed. They was talking about his age. He wasn't gonna get that much better. But,
Oh, they also Davion Mitchell and this boy. That's what they doing, huh?
yeah.
Because Davion is older, and they like, yeah. I'm like, hey, you nice, bro. Like, I'm like, at the end of the day, bro.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you older, man, they they kind of hold that against you, and they try to say that your potential, your ceiling is low because you're not going to get that much better. You know, same way they did Draymond.
But for the most part, that's true for the most part, but it's not always true.
Right, exactly.
But Dame, I mean, that's a situation where it was wrong as hell. But some players, you know, it just depends. But we already discussed a lot of these players. They be coming in like Jalen Green, 18 years old. They be coming in the league so goddamn young. You don't realize even the great Jason Tatum type need 3 years just to like really, start to do stuff because they were so freaking young.
Can I say something real quick about Dame Lillard?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. First of all, I love Lillard. He's the most beloved players I like in the NBA right now, especially like after Luka Doncic is Dame Lillard for me. You know, the thing is with him, I'm looking at first of all is the timeline. He doesn't fit our team's timeline. I would agree with the bread. You bring him here, it's just like a full. You're gonna commit a crime by sending. People will say you're committing a crime sending Dame Lillard to Detroit. Everybody would be talking about that. Lillard is from the West Coast, from San Francisco, I believe. So why would you do this to him? He's a great player.
You're from Oakland, right?
He's from Oakland. Yeah, he's from close to San Francisco. That's what I mean. Yeah. So why would you do that to him? That's just a bad thing from NBA teams trending Lillard to the wrong direction to Detroit. Second of all, his contract. I mean, I don't really care about how much his contract, but I can tell you that he's making 43 next season, then 47, then goes 50, then goes 54. So you gotta really make the money work in here if you want to get a guy like Lillard, which I would not really look at the salary. But when he becomes 32, 33, 34, goes down in the age, maybe it goes higher in age, he might be lower as not as productive as he is right now. So I wouldn't really pay him like 54,000, unless our team is in the playoff, like in the situation of CP3 right now. That will be really interesting. But what Phoenix did, they played it smart. They got Devin Cook, they got CP3 when they were actually about to become a breakout team. That's what they did. We could do the same. We're not a breakout team yet. We're still not there yet. We're really good, but as a potential only. So we need to be at least better another season, and then you get a guy like that.
Benjamin Poe asked about CP3, but I just want to say it's different types of point guards.
Yeah.
And certain point guards elevate their job is to make other players better.
Mhm.
CP3 is one of those. Lonzo, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
So Dame Lillard now he can average a number of assists and he's a very good passer. But Dame Lillard is truly just a scorer. But
Yeah,
he has other abilities. Like when Dame Lillard get the ball, he's trying to score. I
So
say like
Jim,
1 out of 5 times that he's truly trying to set somebody up. He's trying to score the ball, so he's not gonna have that same type of CP3, floor general effect because he's not that type of guard. Like he's a scorer that can average high assist numbers. That's literally what he is. But
yeah, but
besides that, it's gonna take at least a couple years. He had to be willing to be here type
yeah.
stuff. And I don't know why the hell he would want to do that.
But that's
So
the thing, though. Like he turns 31 next month, July 15th. He'll be 31. We talking about it's gonna
I could
take.
see if he was injury prone, but he's only really had like one injury, and I think that was like
It's not about the injury. It's not about the injury. It's guards don't tend to last as long as big men. You know what I'm saying? At least their qualities, at least. You know what I'm saying? Because you running up and down that court the whole length. You know what I'm saying? Checking these fast guards. Man, literally, I know he don't play defense like that.
I mean, Curry like 34, bro.
Yeah, but Curry don't. He has one aspect to his game. He don't do nothing else but shoot off the dribble and shoot.
Same thing with Lillard, damn near.
I know, but that's what you can bring to the Pistons, a non-defensive player that just wants to shoot.
If it's Damian Lillard, man,
Hey,
I love Damian Lillard. I'm not talking slander on the man.
it's not even a Damian
I
Lillard
just
fan.
don't.
I'm a Rush fan, but still, at the end of the day, it's Damian Lillard.
so let me tell you something. Like what Phoenix, look at Phoenix and CP3. I know the CP3 was a different, but looking at CP3 a few years ago was really decent as a player. So now he's not the same player. The same thing with Phoenix, but the Phoenix have a star on their team, and they added CP3. They made him look legit team. So we don't have Devin Booker on our team. We don't have any rising young superstar yet. Like next season, if we see a breakout in Sadiq Bey, that I will be really happy if we get Dame. But we don't have that player yet.
Like, if we got Dame and somehow kept that pick, you would have to get Jalen Green, because you need another scorer, but Jalen Green needs at least 2
exactly,
to lead before
Now
you even
you speaking my language.
Yeah, exactly.
You say we don't keep the pick. You get Dame Lillard. You know what I'm saying? We're not giving up
then
that
everybody
much.
can
Yeah,
go
of
then?
course. Who wouldn't do
We
that?
ship everybody. Hey, man. Hey, I love playing here with young Jalen.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
But look at
Jalen gonna be too young though, but I love to see what happens, man. Some of these players be advancing a little quicker, and we don't need Jalen. We just need Jalen, man. Can you give us 17, 18 in the playoffs consistently? Can you do that? Like we don't need you to be a star. You're too young. Like Michael Porter, Michael Porter, young as hell. But you know what I'm saying? We don't need we need Dame to be Jokic, but we need a Michael Porter type thing.
Right.
Type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Right now that's Jeremy Grant, and I don't like none of that.
No, Jeremy Grant is not really. He's just like a hardworking guy right now on our team. He deserved like in the candidates for most improved player. He's not an all-star. I mean, he could be an all-star in the East, but I don't see him all-star in the West, or even if you put him on any of the good teams. I don't know if he's become, unless we see next season, if he improves more, that will be interesting. If he's able to score a 30-point game, he might be an all-star, but I don't really see him an all-star. So the thing is, we need a guy like a rising star to pair him with Dame Lillard. So that's why I don't see him working here. Besides all this drama of bringing him to Detroit, he'd work more on the Lakers or Miami Heat, or even to the East Coast. I have no idea. Maybe the Celtics.
Forget about Sadiq Bey or something.
The Celtics, maybe.
Yeah,
The
but
Celtics would take him.
Are we going to force Sadiq Bey to have to make that next step to being a star next season? Like, I mean, let him develop and let him grow at his own pace. If you trade for a guy like Lillard, now you're speeding up this whole rebuild, and you're forcing all these young guys. They got to be ready right now, even if they're not ready. And
so Sadiq would see so many open looks though, because right now, let's just say what if say we got Dame, okay? No one else on the team is going to see double. Like as soon as Dame crosses half court, there's going to be 2 or 3 dudes right there. If he came to Detroit, they already do that now in Portland with CJ McCollum and Powell, all these other great scorers they got, Carmelo. If he comes here, Sadiq's gonna be open in the corner like 6 times out of 10. He's already one of the best rookie shooters of all time. He's gonna get better with Damian Lillard. Like stars elevate other players, and Dame's a good facilitator too. He would give Sadiq so many open looks, it'd be ridiculous. Now, could Sadiq live up to CJ McCollum's like Robin role? I don't know. I don't know if he's ready for that yet. But in the future, that could be Sadiq's role.
yeah, to me,
Yeah, but Dame
he's
is
not the same
great,
leader.
but like he's not gonna elevate every single player on the team.
Okay, never mind.
He's just gonna score.
Yeah, but he passes too, though.
Lillard isn't the same type of leader that CP3 is. Like Benjamin Foe asked about CP. Everywhere CP3 goes, he wins. He went to a trash OKC team, turned that around right away just from being there. You know what I'm saying? And he leaves and they're trash again. He goes to Phoenix, didn't make the playoffs last year. Now they beating the defending champions. CP3, even when he's not scoring, he still knows how to lead that team. He knows how to set guys up. Lillard don't do that. Lillard, he's out for Lillard. That's what he does. I mean, he'll pass the ball when he get double teamed and stuff like that, but he's not living to set anybody up. And like I say, at 31 years old, man, y'all can have it. I'm straight. That's
what if in another world, the Pistons trade everything for Damian Lillard? They trade Blake's cap. They trade all the young fellas. They get them, okay? Then in free agency, they sign Kawhi. What'd you do with them?
No, I'm not trading anything for a 31-year-old. I'm not trading.
What if you trade? What if you trade all that for Dame?
If you get that, you don't want Dame and Kawhi.
I don't because look at Dame and Paul George. They struggling to beat Dallas right now.
Paul George is not Damian Lillard.
He's not Damian Lillard, but they struggling to beat. If
they had Dame instead of Paul George, Luka and them boys would have got put out in 5 games.
Look,
Stop them.
If they keep playing with just Kawhi and Paul George, they about to get put out.
Oh no, they gonna get put out, but that's because they don't got no point guard really. And Paul George
got nothing else.
Paul George ain't no superstar, man. My fault. That's my fault.
No, I think what we're doing is okay. Right now, we're rebuilding the team. Let them rebuild. Wait to give it another year or so. See how it goes. Play it year by year. We don't want to rush the rebuilding process. We just need to be lucky. Really, that's all we need to do in 17 days. We gotta be lucky, guys. That's all we need to focus on. Get lucky. Whatever thing you want to do, chat, super chat, comments, just make us lucky in the lottery, man. That's all we want right now.
Yeah. So let's go from one trade package to another. From a Washington Wizards beat writer, he gave a list of players who have, quote unquote, said they wanted to play with Westbrook and Washington. And one of those names on the list, I think it was 3 or 4, was Jeremy Grant. Does this mean Jeremy Grant wants out? I don't know how true this report is. Okay, I don't follow the Wizards. Okay, I don't know how honorable and true their beat writers are. Okay, but if this is true, say Grant wants to go play with Westbrook again, perfectly cool, man. He had a great year. I think personally the Wizards could have used him this year as that third scoring option on the wing outside of Westbrook and Beal. What would you guys want in return if we do send Grant to the Wizards? Again, doesn't mean we're going to. Again, it's just a beat writer saying, hey, these 5 NBA players said they want to play with Westbrook. JMO, I know you probably followed the Wizards the most this year out of anyone else on the panel and probably anyone else in the chat. If Grant wants to play with Washington and ask for a trade there, what can we get in return?
I think he muted. Yeah,
okay.
I'll say I think the trade I saw wasn't it Denny Avdija, and then it was another one of their shooters and the first round pick.
I haven't seen any trades yet. I just seen the guys say hey, these guys want to play with Westbrook.
Okay, yeah, I seen one. It had Denny Avdija. It had another one of their bigs that was
Rui Hachimura.
No, it wasn't Rui Hachimura. It was a white guy.
Bertans.
Yeah. No, it was Bertan and Rui Hachimura.
Well, I seen one that was Bertans and Denny Avdija and the first round pick for Jeremy Grant. And that one, I'd do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I can't wait to get Jeremy Grant off this team, quite honestly.
I was about to say, but look, Danny Avdija and Bertan, though, I like
the first round pick.
I need a better basketball player. Give me Rui.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'll take Rui.
Give me Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, I'll take Rui.
That first round pick with Rui. Would they give us that with Rui for Jeremy?
Hey man, we can get them something else if they need it. Hey, as long as it's not too much, we can get over another player as long as it ain't too much.
Frank Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm not about to trade. I'm not giving up Jeremy Grant for no Bertans and Danny Avdija. And I like no,
yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, if these was the ninth pick in the draft last year, you know, he's stretching the floor.
Here's what I would do.
Gonna be, but
If I'm the Piston, I'm trying not to take Bertans because he's got 15 million, 5 years contract. What do we do with him? What do you do with him? Really, he's like I like him as a shooter, but I wouldn't really want to stick with his contract. But Jeremy Grant is a lot more interesting contract. What I would do, I'd get Hachimura, I'd get Daniel Gafford, sign and trade. Daniel Gafford is a guy who could play center, man. I love
Gafford is a monster.
He's a monster. If you sign and trade Daniel Gafford,
I call him Gafford. I love Gafford, bro. That's my boy.
I love Gafford and Brian. I love both of them. Brian got hurt this year.
Oh yeah,
I like both of them.
Yeah, Gafford a beast. I love Daniel Gafford on the Pistons. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, he's the guy.
I'll take that. Yeah, give me Roy and Gafford. You can have Jeremy Grant.
But do you think they still gonna give you a first round pick with both?
I don't think they're gonna give her a Roy, to be honest with you.
Right, exactly.
Like he's just too good, too young. Like he's been reliable in the playoffs too. When he was playing, he was good. You can't get rid of that guy unless they really, really making some moves. It's gonna be hard for them to get rid of Roy.
Right.
Like the player probably had to be better than Jeremy Grant, if I'm being honest.
Exactly. I agree.
But I don't know if we could have really traded like Jeremy Grant like last year for the Celtics with 3 first-round picks. I still look at it. I don't know if that should have been the right move. Maybe, you know, if this year, if we get an offer like that, I think we need to look at it again. You know, I still like Grant on our team, but you can't just turn down offers like that. Like even Andre Drummond, at some point he was in our team very good. We turned out multiple offers to trade him, I believe. You got to trade the players in the right time sometimes.
Those
I think we could have got Cam Reddish, bro, and some other players from Atlanta. Like I'm like, oh man, we ended up with Brandon Knight and John Henson, bro. Like what the hell?
Weren't all of those first round picks that Boston were trying to trade? Weren't they supposed to be in the late first round, like in the 20s?
It's okay, at least a return value. So the bread, you don't want to give up Drummond for nothing, like what we did. Like last time, it was bad.
I'm talking about Grant. You're talking about for Grant, the Boston trade when they were giving up.
Oh yeah, Grant. Picks. Yeah, they're not good trade, but I think they were about to give us like some good player like Smart in return, or someone like maybe multiple of their first year player or second year player. They were about to get like, I don't like Trashford. Trashford is trash, man. Romeo Trashford.
No, I don't like him. I mean, I've seen Langford play. He's not bad actually.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, like he just started playing. To be honest, he was hurt the whole year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try. You know, Romeo Langford, whatever.
I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of him. But after seeing him play on the court, I feel like if you developed him right, he could be really good. But that's just up to the team, though. That's not, you know what I'm saying. But it's gonna take some work. But he's very athletic. His defensive instincts, his athleticism is just there. You know, you got to work on the other stuff.
The Celtics completely messed it up. They're playing Pritchard. This is a trash player. What are you doing with Pritchard? He can't even play. I mean, I don't like him. Is this a player? He's not an NBA. He's a YMCA player, man. What is he doing? Playing in one of this Boston Celtics. He's not even a backup second or third string. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. If you play Pritchard over a guy like Carson Edwards, you're committing a crime. Carson Edwards can shoot the ball. A lot better player than Pritchard. And Carson Edwards deserved it more than Pritchard, in my opinion. I don't know why they did that.
To your point, Bravo.
You didn't call him a Y player, man. That's disrespectful.
YMCA, you did call him YMCA player.
He's a YMCA, man.
Why is Boston in love with all these tiny point guards? Between Pritchard, between Edwards, and they got the other guy that shoots all the time. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The other little guard for Boston. I think number 51 or something like that. Got a weird number.
Yeah.
All these short guys, they got all these short guards. I don't understand. Like these guys are like 6 foot and under.
It's Brad Stevens' system. They went from Isaiah Thomas, they turned him into an all-star. He gets hurt, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Trade him for Kyrie. Kyrie plays okay for him. They get to the playoffs. Kyrie's hurt. He's out. They trade for Kemba. They all played well. All those guys turn into all-stars. Like, it's Brad Stevens' system. So I think he's just like, hey, I know I can get from this type of player. But at the end of the day, their problem has been the 5 position. They have not had a decent center. Like, they've had guys like Aaron Baines and Thias come in, and they played okay. Like, they're role players. They're nothing great. They're bench guys. When I look at Williams, like, I see potential. Like, that could be their guy moving forward. I think he's got some solid potential. He can turn into something solid. But they never had any real defensive presence down there. When you're playing the LeBrons that can get to the rim any second in the playoffs, you got to have some protection down there. They never could get the right piece at the right time. It's going to be very interesting seeing Danny Ainge going bye-bye and Brad getting promoted. I've seen a lot of heat on that for him getting promoted after getting bounced in the first round. I can't deny him. I can't say, hey, he did this. He needs to be in there. I can't do it. It's going to be very interesting to see where they go. I've seen that they want Chauncey Billups as a head coach, so that could be interesting at least. I don't want to see Chauncey go back to Boston, though. I don't want to root against Chauncey, bro. Let's see. I had another trade. No, I didn't. So, former Detroit Piston Rasheed Wallace. We're taking you back to the Going to Work Pistons. Just said today from the Detroit Free Press that he wasn't a fan of Flip Saunders when Flip Saunders took over for. I just blocked his name right on my head.
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. Thank you. I have brain fart. Rasheed said we wasted 3 good years when Flip came in. And quite frankly, I kind of agree with this. You know, when Flip came in here, I had high hopes for this team. You know, we came off a championship. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals the next year. And when Flip came in, man, we just slowly got worse. So I'm very interested to hear your guys' take on this and the people in the comments. Make sure you do like the video. Comment if you think Rasheed's right. We've seen Sheed speak out against the Pistons the last year or so, saying he doesn't quote unquote F with the Pistons anymore. He doesn't like Flip. Real quick though, shout out to Nomus J for the $5 super chat, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to Nomus, man. What's up, man? But what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about a Pistons legend, Rasheed Wallace, man? Ball don't lie. Talking trash about one of our former head coaches. DeBrad, man, I'm going to start with you, man. What do you think about Sheed, trash, and Flip? Rest in peace, Flip.
Yeah, rest in peace, Flip. I think he's just keeping it real. I mean, I think this is something at the time. This is what everybody was worried about. Flip Saunders was kind of like in the same boat as Mike D'Antoni. He had those teams in Minnesota winning a lot of games during the season, but they get to the playoffs, they couldn't get over that hump because they didn't play defense. And when he came here, what did we do? He stopped emphasizing defense. You know, we started scoring a bunch of points. We won a whole bunch of games, had our, some of our best winning seasons. But when we got to the playoffs, we didn't have that same defensive hunger. We weren't locking down. And yeah, we didn't have Ben, but that you saw the mentality change. We were scoring points, and that's not the way we were built. And that's not the way winning teams were built for that time. Now, yeah, you want to score points and everything. Nobody's playing defense like that. But at that time, you had to play some kind of defense, and he just didn't coach that. So, I can understand why Sheed, who's a guy that's not trying to score 25, 30 points, he wants to play team basketball. He wants to play team defense. I can see how he would be unhappy with a coach like Flip that's not emphasizing defense at all. Similar to like Jimmy Butler after Thibodeau left and they got Hoiberg, I think it was, who emphasizing offense, and he's fed up because none of the other guys are trying to give any effort on defense. Mm-hmm. Same type of scenario to me, and that's why I feel like I understand what he's saying.
That is a great comparison. I really dig that, actually. I didn't even think about that. That's a beautiful, perfect comparison. It fits hand in hand there. It's exactly true, though. Jimmy likes to play defense. That's why he's in Miami right now. That's why he couldn't stay in Minnesota, because they couldn't do it. That's why he left Chicago, because they couldn't do it. When you get players like that, like the Ben Wallaces, and I see people in the comments talking about this is why Big Ben left, you're probably right, man. Once Flip got in here, we were still good. We were still one of the best teams in the East. We weren't defensively dominant as we were. And that's a problem, especially with that team, man. They were built off of their pride on defense. Seriously, they hold the record for holding people under 70. And you'd be like, yeah, the league wasn't that good yet. Phoenix was still good. San Antonio was really good. They started getting Tim Duncan in there, and they started to take off. Do I mention Kobe and Shaq? Probably the most dynamic duo we have ever seen on an NBA court. Mm-hmm. Those two guys are in the top 10 of all time. Where you put them, up to you, but you cannot have them not in your top 10. We
the
held
Nets,
them to under 70 in the finals.
and don't forget how good the Nets were at that time too. People sleep on the Nets. The Nets were good too. The Pacers,
Jason Kidd, Richardson.
Mhm.
The Pacers still had Reggie. They had Ron Artest and O'Neal. They were popping. Like there was a lot of high scoring teams in there, and we held them under 70. And once Flip got in there, we still did it occasionally, but it wasn't as much as it was. So, bravo, man. What do you think about Sheed, Trash, and Flip here?
So I can't comment much about that era because I started really supporting and rooting the Pistons when it was 2004. So I started when Flip was the coach. So I can't really comment about that much. So I'll pass it to JMO next.
Alrighty, JMO. Hard to see, man. Make sure you guys do go subscribe to his channel. His link's below in the description. Make sure you do so. And we'll also be live on his channel next week for Free Smoke Saturday. But 313 JMO, man. What do you think about Sheed trashing former Detroit Pistons head coach Flip Saunders? I don't know if he's ready yet. His mic's still muted. We'll give him a second here.
No, I think I'm back. I think what's his name? The Bread. He was speaking all the facts. I don't feel like I need to say anything else. Like he said everything that needed to be said. And when Rasheed, man, he's gonna air out the thing with the Pistons and just be real about some things. He's Rasheed Wallace, man. He's gonna be real about how he felt the teams went. We definitely underachieved and probably could have went in a better direction. But Flip Saunders, he had some flaws as a coach. Like the teams were good, but just like you said in the playoffs, we just flamed out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily know if his type of personality would really fit us necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But I think Rasheed he's just being truthful to the fans and stuff. I don't think people should get too upset. You know, rest in peace to Flip. But he's just being truthful about what's going on in the situation. And I do like players talking about at least some of the old teams positively or negatively, just so we know a little bit more about what was going on back then. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think he's pissed off at the Pistons, so he don't.
Well, that's a good point, though. You know, social media wasn't really a thing back then, like it is today. So we didn't get all this juicy information like we do now. Whereas, you know, if, again, for example, for the next topic, John Beilein calls a bunch of players thugs instead of slugs, you hear about it the next day. So,
man, don't get me started on John Beilein. I should ran on him by himself. You gonna leave Michigan after going to the national championship, go to the Cavs and be trash, and come back to the Detroit Pistons who tried to hire you, you scrub. Get on somewhere, bro. You a bum, bro. That's why we got Juwan Howard, and he better. He going to chip, you scrub. I don't care. You better develop every player then, bro. I'm mad at John Beilein right now, you scrub.
Damn. Free Smoke Saturday.
Well, we know how JMO feels about the hire.
When you make the national championship, how do you leave?
Man, he was 65 years old. He never been to the league. He wanted to try it one time.
For the fucking Cavs. No, bro. You can't go to Ohio. Maybe you could have went to Illinois, but you gonna go to the Ohio, bro? You miss me with that, boy. And that's why he wasn't built for it, man. He wasn't built for it, man. Should have stayed in college and tried to help us win a chip. We got a better coach now. It's all good.
Poor Beilein. I feel sorry. I feel so bad for that guy. Even the slug thugs thing, like thugs didn't even make sense, like in context of what he said. So it's not like he was really calling them thugs. Like obviously he was trying to call them slugs, but oh man, like. But you know what though, for the Pistons, for what they hired them to do, I like the hire because if you look at John Beilein, he's always developed lesser talent. Like he never worked with like 5-star guys in college and things like that. Even at West Virginia, he always got 2-3 stars, maybe a 4-star here or there, and coached them up. And you know, after 3 or 4 years, they were NBA players when they left them. You know, some of them were. You know, so that's probably like the type of guys you know he's gonna be working with here. End of the bench guys, maybe, you know, 2nd-round picks, things like that. You know, he's gonna be able to develop.
The
2-3 years.
You're right. We didn't have no damn talent on our Michigan teams, but like Mo Wagner and DJ Wilson, like, and he was winning. Now that's why I loved him because like he'd take a group of scrubs, had them play lockout defense and shoot the lights out. We had Baby Duncan Robinson. Look at Duncan now. Also, we brought him here for cool, but that don't mean I'm happy with him.
Oh,
We
for
still
sure.
got issues.
For sure.
But you know, like I said, I want to see him develop our players. He's definitely good at player development. That just shows with Michigan. Like I'll give him that. I ain't giving you nothing else though.
So let me get this right, JMO. Let me get this right. So you like the hire of bringing him here to develop players, but you don't like him.
Yes.
Makes sense. I perfectly understand it. I understand it.
You betrayed Michigan, bro. You betrayed us, bro. You did. It's all good. They ain't gonna try to. And he was supposed to get the Pistons job. And I mean, I'm not saying I necessarily wanted him to, but he kind of like, no, I'm good on the Pistons. I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And then you gonna coach the Cavs, bro? Oh no.
Yeah.
I remember
That's
a
really
report though saying he wanted the Pistons job, but the Pistons didn't really want him.
Nah.
You
They
can't remember.
spent it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was the same year we hired Casey, correct?
Yeah, and we a lot of us remember we were doing videos. All of us thought John Beilein was about to be the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it. Bravo, man. What's your takeaway from the Beilein hire?
I think I like the hire. Is just the reason why I like it because he's just we know his history with the Wolverine, how he really developed the players. He know how to really. I think he's the guy who developed Draymond Green, right?
No.
Green played at MSU.
But Trey Burke though. Trey Burke.
Oh, I messed up completely.
Trey Burke, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I messed up. So he comes from a good developing college system, so he knows how to develop these young players. And the thing is, I don't mind it because he's only an advisor for player development. What I'm hearing that the Wayne Casey is the actually coach who actually asked for Beilein to be as an advisor or something. So it came out from Dwayne. I thought it came from Troy Weaver, but no, it came actually from Chelsea, from Casey. So that's kind of interesting. I don't mind it, but how do I feel about it? I don't know. So we'll find out eventually. If this guy becomes a future on our team, like if he has an upgraded position in our team, like if he becomes the next coach or the next assistant GM, I'd be concerned. But we never know. So we'll have time will tell. So that's all I can say at this point. And I think it's just all right because he's going to be developing mostly.
Here's my takeaway from this. What the hell is a senior player development advisor? What does that even mean?
Advisor is like Stefanski role, advisor, but he's not for development only.
To clear it up a little bit, he's on Casey's coaching staff. He's not on Weaver's, on the Weaver's office staff. Every team got developmental coaches nowadays, and these guys work with the G League teams and other little players and things like that. Him being a senior advisor, he's probably going to be the one designing the workouts for these guys. About what workouts to do. The whole plan of how they want to develop these players. And he'll probably be stepping in while they'll have other coaches coaching them up. He'll probably be stepping in, monitoring, and chipping in whenever he can. But he's probably going to be part of the whole process about designing the workouts for these guys and how they're going to develop them. Set up every player's developmental plan per se.
I hope that's the case. I hope it's just not a title to have him in there, because like you said, man, at Michigan, man, like he turned a bunch of these scrubs into champions. Like, how many times was Michigan not really ranked that high, but come March Madness, they're blowing people away like year after year. Everyone's always like, MSU's got a better system. They got a better recruits. Every single year, Michigan came in. Like,
he turned Michigan into like a powerhouse team, really. Honestly,
nowhere.
That was
With
the
less
best basketball team was since the Fab Five, really.
Out of nowhere.
So, like, they went to
can't
two
take that away.
championships, and they should have won the one against Louisville. We know how that went. Like, they went to two national championships, bro. Like, they were dominant, elite eight national championship, Final Four, like consistently. That's why I was so mad when you can't leave all that and then go to Ohio, bro. Like, no, we don't do that over here. Yeah. But like, he was a dominant team, bro. So I don't there's no way the Pistons bringing him just to sit here. No, you here to do a job, and you better work on my boy Killer Kill. Better work on my boy Sekou. Better work on my boy Sadiq Bey. Turn him into a driver. Better do everything, and hopefully it turned out well.
And you got to think too. He was handpicked by Casey. You know what I'm saying? And Casey, he's been known for his player development. His big thing is having that G League team. When he had it in Toronto, they were in the same city, and he was working with Stackhouse. Sending players back and forth and being able to develop them. I think Beilein is going to be heavy on that G League team. You know what I'm saying? They right here in Detroit, just like he was in Toronto, and he's going to be able to be hands-on. Casey can kind of have Beilein run that whole G League situation and improving his players, even the players on the roster that he's sending them down there, for a game here or there to work out. I think this is just a part of the whole G League process to turn this into like a Toronto situation, because that was successful for them.
Man, make sure you guys go follow the Brad, man. He's been spitting nothing but facts today, man. Again, great comparison there. We got 3 second-round draft picks this year. Okay, maybe 1, maybe 2 of those guys will be on the active roster at times. They'll probably be on 2-way contracts. This is going to be the next year we have our G League team. The one that's actually in Detroit. It's not going to be the Grand Rapids Tribe. It's going to be in Detroit. It's going to be very crucial to develop those. If we keep them, those 3 draft picks, they'll probably be playing the G League a lot. And like you said, he'll probably be hands-on with them. But like Jamon said, you got to work on Killian. You got to work on Sekou and make sure that Beef Stew and Sadiq stay on course and make sure they continue to develop. And then probably next year, Saban will play in the G League. I expect to see him play really good in the Summer League this year. But he'll probably be with that odd man out to play in the G League because he's going to need that rep. But Beilein can have a hand in there as well. I'm kind of excited for it, man. Because like you said, in Michigan, he had good success at developing people over a couple years. So I'm curious. I want to see it. I think it's a good hire. It's not going to hurt us. So I'm definitely excited to see where this is going to go.
I got to say one thing. If next season the Pistons mess up, you're going to hear that the Pistons partner away with John Beilein after he called Killian Hayes a thug.
Oh, man.
Frenchman.
That's what's gonna happen, man. If he calls a Killian a killer, he calls him a thug, man. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh man, John. How old is Beilein now? About 70 now or 68?
Man, this guy
he's a senior.
Yeah, so that's like a senior advisor, right?
That's funny. All right, let's go to our last topic before we're going to open it up for the questions. And we've already talked about Cade. We've already talked about Jalen Green. So now we're going to Evan Mobley as a draft prospect, man. I know it wasn't that long ago, maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago. He was the favorite to be the 2nd overall pick in the NBA draft, where a lot of Pistons fans were pretty high on him. So while we talk about him, we're going to run some highlights here of – I don't want to be the only one on the screen – of some of his highlights. Bravo, I know you're our scouting expert, so we're going to start with you here first. What's your draft analyst on Evan Mobley?
Yeah, he's really impressive. His length, 7 foot, he is really can pass the ball. He can really block shots, so he can play solid defensive block position in the center. His really shooting potential also, look at him. He can shoot it off this mid-range jumper. He's very impressive. Mid-range jump shots, also even layups. And you got to love everything about this kid. He's really interesting at all aspects. Athlete. He can jump. He can really look, he can also take it. I haven't seen the centers like that who can dribble from all the way, take it down the court, and he can pass it like that. It reminds me of kind of his length reminds me of Bol, but the only problem is just with him, I can see only the negative aspect is his weight. He's 205, I believe, or 205 pounds, I believe. So that's really thin frame. I think he would have a lot of tough time in the NBA if he doesn't gain weight like that, because people will be posting him easy. I think you can still post him with this kind of frame. So he just needs to gain weight. I think if he gains weight, man, this guy has no limit for this guy. I'm telling you. So that's the only thing is holding him. I think what I do like about his actually frame and his weight, his potential, is the fact that his brother plays on this team also, and his name is, I believe, also Mobley. So Mobley, the other Mobley brother, who plays as a power forward or center, has a lot interesting, stronger body than Evan Mobley. So I think from the way I look at it, I think Evan Mobley got the genes of his brother, and I can say that he got potential to gain weight. So I'm really like positive because of the fact that this number 3, by the way, this number 3 is another Mobley. So if he can gain weight like the other brother, man, he's got a lot of potentials in the NBA, and I think I love everything about him. The only thing also is another thing. If you bring him here to Detroit, I think he's going to be perfect because he's just going to fit. He can pass the ball. We need a guy like him to really take the ball at the center power forward and make shots in there because we don't have a lot of inside scoring on this team except for Isaiah Stewart. And Isaiah Stewart was playing off the bench. This guy he can come off starting immediately, or he can come up and play with Isaiah Stewart too. So that's all I really like about him. I'm not going to make it too long. I'll leave you guys talk about him. What do you guys think about that?
So for me, Mobley is one of these centers. He just screams modern day big. You see him here. He's bringing the ball off of a rebound, initiating the offense. He's passing. He's driving. He's shooting. Offensively, man, there's not a thing he can't do. He's solid. And you think, okay, well, he can't be a great defensive player then if he's doing all this on the offensive side. And he averaged almost 4 blocks a game. And we desperately need rim protection. Right now, I still can't decide if I want Green more, if I want Mobley more. I think now, after doing more research on Green, I still want Green above Mobley. But if we're at 3 and Cade and Green's gone, I am so happy with Mobley. He's one of these guys. He's just going to come in. He's going to gel with the team. And, Beef Stew right now is someone we have a part of our core. Day one, those guys can work together because Mobley can space the floor. He's not just dunking like you're seeing here. He's got a great mid-range game. He shot almost 40% from the three-point line. Like this kid can do it all. The only thing, like Bravo said, I have negative about him is his weight. At some point, I know the post game's pretty much dead. You don't see it too much. But as a big man in the playoffs, you got to have a post game. And if you're going against Joel Embiid in the East, you're going to have to be able to back him down. And right now, I don't know if Mobley's strong enough to handle an Embiid. That's something he's going to have to work on over time. And Bravo made a good point off air with Thon Maker that Thon tried to add weight, but he can't. It's really hard at times when you're built like that to gain weight because he's a toothpick, man, but he's so athletic. He's quick. He can jump. He's got his timing down. He's patient with his offensive game. He's not rushing anything. He's not taking bad shots. He lets the offensive game come to him, and he can really see the court. He does a great job when his teammates cut, of getting him the ball. He knows how to box out. He knows where the rebound's coming off the rim. He's always in the right spot at the right time. I really do like Mobley. I think this could be a solid pick for the Pistons. Whoever gets Mobley, they're going to fall in love with him. J-Mo, man, what's your draft analyst of Evan Mobley?
Evan Mobley, I call him a unicorn, man, because I haven't really seen anything that he can't really do. I've even seen him pass the ball on a fast break like a point guard looking like Jokic. So this is a guy that's extremely talented and a guy that I know as long as he's healthy, he will be making an all-star team. So like he's an all-star caliber player to me right now. I don't know if he can reach that superstar mode, but extremely versatile defensively on the wing, on the perimeter. Has the wingspan. He has the good IQ, man. Man, Evan Mobley is just nice, and he had his offensive game reminds me a lot of AD, bro. Because like he can do that post up mid range type of stuff, and I do agree with Bravo because of what his brother. I do think he's gonna be able to gain some weight though. I'm not really worried about that. But he definitely can help us on the inside scoring, man. He just look like a star player, man. It's just about health. But this guy, he's really tough to guard because he's a true 7 foot. So like he's 7 feet tall with all of these skills, and when you look at all of the bigs in the league. How many are 7 feet tall with these skills and this level of mobility? Like they might, like Cat can have the skills, but Cat's not mobile like Evan Mobley. So you know what I'm saying? And he's not as good defensively either. So this dude is a unicorn that very special scorer and defender, man. Like I said, he's an all-star caliber guy. We can see if he can reach that superstar status. I think he definitely could if you develop him right. He can be the best player in the draft, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But at worst, his floor is literally making an all-star team. I can't see him not making an all-star team unless like something happens to him injury-wise. He just too much talent. You know what I'm saying?
And just to give you a quick tip, his brother Isaiah Mobley weighs 235 pounds. He's only 1 year older. So I can see Evan Mobley gaining like 20 pounds in a couple of years. It's easy, just like Mo Bamba. We saw it in Mo Bamba too. The thing is, these players, I think, since his brother looks in good shape, I'm not worried too much. But if he's like Thon Maker and look at his cousin Makur or his brother Makur Maker, these are from Sudan. They cannot gain weight because of genes,
I mean, Mr. Ray said his floor is an all-star. That's all. But I don't really even think I'm like gassing him up or anything. I just feel like if he's healthy, he's just talented, man. I remember I was real high on Ayton. It took Ayton a couple years. Mobley, he just got way too much talent to not be a great player unless like injury's the only thing that can hold back with great players, to be honest. And coaching too. So we gotta hope he goes to a good situation that allows him to be great.
Yeah. Ben says I'm not passing on Ice Trey or Luka for Ayton. No, I agree there. But if you're drafting three, if you're drafting 3 and Trey and Luka are gone, you take Ayton. I think that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think if we get 2, I think we're guaranteed Cade, we're guaranteed Green, one of the 2. I take one of those guys probably over him. But he's right there. It's not that far off, man. I mean, you can just see him here. His offensive game is just polished. It's beautiful. There's not a thing he can't do offensively, and he's got great timing defensively to time shots to send them back. He's not just blocking them; he's sending them back too. And Detroit basketball is something that we need. But the bread, man, what do you think about Mobley, man? What's your draft analyst of him?
Piggybacking everything you guys said, I pretty much feel the same way. If Cade and Green is gone, I want Mobley. I think the key for him, like you guys have been saying, is his weight. To me, though, it's not necessarily about how much weight I want him to gain. Really, I want him to get stronger. Because really, I don't want him to gain too much weight where he starts losing some mobility. Because he's built slim, So I kind of want him to get stronger and kind of model himself after a little bit like KG. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be my ideal weight plan for him. KG wasn't a big muscle bound dude, but he was wiry. And he was strong. He could hold his ground, and I think that's going to be big for Mobley going up against these NBA centers. Like Bravo was saying, these guys is going to hit him in the chest one time. They're going to have all the space they need right now. So I think his success is going to come down to how he takes care of his body and how he develops his body. Like I say, getting too big, man. He won't be able to step out on those pick and rolls anymore. And be able to move his feet as much. If you watch these highlights. A lot of this stuff, he's getting the ball, he's facing up and going by guys using his quickness because he's quicker than them because he weighs less, he's smaller.
He just broke that white boy's ankle.
I don't want him to lose that advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like the AD comparison was a really good comparison as well. But like I said, he's not really doing anything out of the post, like Bravo said. Once he gets cut off, then he can spin back and hit that little jump hook, but that's not out the post. You know what I'm saying? So. Man, it's just gonna come down to that. I can see this guy. He's got all-star potential. He's got defensive player of the year potential. First team All NBA defense. I mean, this guy, he's got it. But you gotta develop him right. That's for sure.
In terms of fit for the Pistons, outside of Beef Stew, Killian didn't really have anyone in the pick and roll to help him out. And you can watch here, just Mobley's teammates able to find him after the pick and roll. All the oops, all the 2 feet in the paint with the post hook. Killian's going to have a field day with a guy like this who can create space like this, who can stretch the floor like this, who can run the court with him like this. There's going to be so many alley-oops if he can play with a point guard, even if he doesn't go to Detroit. If he goes to someone that has a point guard that likes to pass or run the floor, he's going to be good. And like I said, Killian's just going to have a field day playing like a guy like this, man. We don't have this. If you give Killian, Mobley, and Beef Stew, his assist numbers are going to skyrocket, man. And they're already pretty good at a rookie. Had 6, 7 assists as a rookie? Get him a guy like this. Like, look at that. That's what I call Megatron coverage, man. He had 3 guys on him right there, and he's still able to finish the lob. You don't teach that. It's just physical talent and it's so rare to find. But again, I still think he's going to be at number 3 in terms of my draft board.
I agree.
Does anyone else got anything to add about Mobley? I think we pretty much touched on a little bit of everything. Alrighty. So let me know in the chat, man, where do you guys put Mobley on your draft board? Leave that down below. But I know some of us got some stuff to do, so I think we're going to transition to final thoughts real quick. A lot of us are busy, and we've already been on for an hour and 40, so we don't want to waste all your time as the fourth quarter for the Milwaukee Bucks Brooklyn Nets series is about to be underway. Bravo, man, what do you got for the peeps for final thoughts?
Yeah, good show, guys. Hit the like button whenever you get the chance to. Come watch us here next weekend if you're able. Let's hope for one thing. I think the most important thing for us, June 22nd, is the lottery itself. And I keep saying it. The lottery is more important than what we get in the draft day, I believe. I feel like we need to get lucky, real lucky, and hit top 3 or top 2. And this is what we need to. And I really pray that we're going to get lucky, because last year we were very happy. We were very optimistic. We got disappointed, unfortunately. I think the NBA should help us this year. And I'm really kind of like going to stay on the edge. Be careful. Hopefully we'll get a good luck. So that's what we want to. Lucky Pistons, please.
The Bread, man, appreciate you coming on the show, man. You certainly know basketball, so you're welcome on anytime you want to. You just got to give JMO or me the word, and we'll get you on, man. What do you got for the peeps for final thoughts tonight?
Final thoughts, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Another great show. Always enjoy talking with you guys. You know, it's always fun when us fans get together, man. You know, so I appreciate that. But, hey, man, just enjoy these playoffs, man. Just watch these games and see how these teams play. See how these teams are built, because this is our competition in the coming years. You know what I'm saying? So just look at this, guys. Look at these benches. You know what I'm saying? Look at how they're using their bigs. Look at all elements of these games, man. Because a lot of times us Detroit fans, we be so into our teams that we don't go and watch these other teams, and we have a distorted view of what we're looking at with our teams. Look around the NBA so you can see how we're building this team, and you can see the difference between our players and these other teams' players and how we need to develop. Just be a student of the game.
Smart words from a smart man. Heart of the city, 313 JMO, Mr. Free Smoke Saturday himself. It's looking like our Bucks are going to fall game number 1, but
Yeah,
it's going to be a long series.
It's coming out already. But guess what? Adjustments. All right, that's all I got to say. And we don't know what James Harden hamstring looking like, because it's a hamstring, and I actually know what a hamstring feel like. So, yeah, so we going to see what that Brand know too. Yeah, that ain't nothing to play with. If you really pulled it for real, yeah. You might have to miss another game.
Hamstrings and groins do not get better in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Does not happen.
So we already know, but shout out to everybody for showing us. And I just feel like the playoffs has been very, very entertaining, man. And I did say this was going to be the finals, so this series right here. So we going to see what happens, man. But I feel like I agree with the Bread 313. You got to watch these other teams to know about them. That's why I be watching a lot of other teams to see what they be doing and how they build our team, which is why I be heavily critical of Dwayne Casey. When I be seeing other teams develop their players in the right way, and I be seeing us make mistakes, I might be overly critical sometimes. You know, that's just how it is sometimes, because it's what I'm seeing. Or even when Troy Weaver do something that's crazy out of the pocket. But besides all that, man, I still think we're going to get a high pick, man, and we're going to catch y'all next week, man. You already know my man Evan Mobley is an absolute freaking monster. Don't forget that, man. The boy's a special talent, for sure.
Facts, and like I said, man, make sure you guys check out the description and go follow and subscribe to 313 JMO. The links to the rest of the DSA members are in there. The link to Woodward Sports is also in the description. That's going to be very important, as the draft lottery. We are going to be doing a special show on Woodward Sports, or we're probably going to go into public with the fans. As soon as I know more details, I'll let you guys know. So that way, if you guys have the opportunity to come out and hang with your boy Double D, you can come back and slap some Drew Wisers with me. We'll have a good time. It will be fun. So on your way out, like the video, subscribe, check out the description. All that being said, man, I appreciate you guys rocking with us tonight, man. We had a lot of great topics. Thank you for the chat for being active. With that being said, we'll see you guys next Saturday on 313 JMO's channel. And that's the bottom line, because Double D said so. Have a good night, guys. Peace.